Okay, beat the bad emotional wolf. This is what I'm going to teach you today, how to beat the bad emotional wolf. And what is the bad emotional wolf? We're going to speak about that today. And what I'm going to speak about today is actually something that people do, a way that people can treat your emotions or other people's emotions is actually very wicked. That's actually very bad. So I want to encourage you, never treat another person's emotions this way. Never allow people to treat you emotionally this way. This is the big bad emotional wolf. So let's look at what it is. I visited one of my friends and he had like a little farm back in the day, and he had horses on the farm. I don't know why I always was like this, but I remember every single time I saw horses, I wanted to ride a horse. Hasn't really happened since. I think since this incident, I rode a horse like twice or so. But this was a while ago. So what happened is I wanted to ride this horse, and I got on the horse. And I rode on the horse, but it was almost night time. So the sun was just busy setting and I couldn't see that well. So I was running on the horse, and I'm like not running on the horse, I was running with the horse. And then all of a sudden there was a wire, but I didn't really see the wire. So I rode into the wire hit me on the chest. I fell off the horse and the horse kicked me on the leg, but the horse kicked me very hard. And I remember my friend said like, the horse came home and he was saddled up and everything, but you weren't on the horse. So we started looking for you, and then when they found me, I was lying there in the field and I was holding my leg and it was like extremely sore. So he's like, I need to take you to the hospital right now. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I couldn't walk or anything. Like, they had to drag me, or like not drag me, they had to pick me up and carry me everywhere. But I was in a lot of pain. And my friend said to me, listen, we need to take you to a hospital right now. I went to the hospital, leg was very hurt. They put my leg in a cast and they gave me crutches that I had to walk with for a while because my leg was hurt very bad. So imagine my friend came to me and he said to me, I know the horse kicked you very hard on your leg, but just walk it off. It's not a big deal. That would have been bad, because physically, when somebody physically gets hurt, we take it very seriously. If somebody walks and they step into a piece of glass and their foot is cut and there's blood everywhere, we like immediately, we need to get this healed, because physically we take it very seriously. But when somebody reacts emotionally, people are, and it happens a lot, like even in childhood, people are very quick to say, stop crying, stop being sad, walk off your emotions, and the one that I dislike the most, just get over it. Somebody that goes through emotional hurt, that is treated like this is not a big deal. This is the big bad wolf to emotions. It's a very wicked thing to treat somebody with an emotional hurt as if what they are going through is not important. And this is what I want to say. If somebody else goes through something and they get emotional, no matter how little it seems to you, don't write them off. Don't tell them something like, just get over it, just walk it off. That's the big bad wolf to emotional hurt. And here's the thing, if you are emotionally hurt, you are allowed to go through those emotions. So what is the big bad emotional wolf? It is when somebody has an emotional reaction and the other person just takes it lightly, as if what you are going through is not important. And this is another thing. They act as if the person who got hurt is the problem. Somebody reacts emotionally, and now all of a sudden the one that reacts emotionally, that person is the problem. Listen, my friend didn't come to me when the horse kicked me on the leg and he didn't say, Albert, you are the problem. Stop overreacting. He actually said to me, dude, you are underreacting. We have to get you to the hospital. And when I was kicked by the horse, I had to go on a cast and crutches for a while, and it's fine emotionally as well. There are some emotional casts, emotional band-aids, emotional crutches that we might need for a while, and that is okay. But I think because people are responding this way, because people are reacting as if people's emotions aren't important, they think it's not okay for me to have the emotional cast, it's not okay for me to have the emotional crutches. No, it is okay. It's not okay to have it forever, because we have to grow and deal with our emotions and get out strong on the other side. Definitely, I'm not wearing the cast anymore today. I'm not on crutches anymore today. So it's not okay to be there forever. But things like this has to be taken seriously, and if it's taken lightly, a person can be subject under this big bad wolf of emotions. So pain is not just physical. Pain is emotional as well. Now, as human beings, we can recognize when it's physical pain and we can recognize when it's emotional pain. But did you know your brain and your body and your mind doesn't always know the difference between whether it's physical pain or whether it's emotional pain? Sometimes we will go through emotional pain and our brain and our body think like this is actually a physical pain, and we have to remedy and take care of an emotional pain just as much as we have to take care of a physical pain. So if your child, for instance, and I think a lot of this happens in childhood, if your child, for instance, goes through emotional pain, a lot of the time, the parents or the caretakers or the teachers are just like, get over it, stop being sad, stop reacting emotionally. And I'm not saying, we should just allow every single emotion that a child has and just let them go with it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But we should acknowledge that emotions are a real thing. I hope that when your child gets hurt physically, like they fall off from a ladder, I don't know why they would climb a ladder in the first place, and I don't know why I use this example, but let's just go with it. They fall off a ladder or they cut themselves with something, we are always very quick to their remedy. But when they're going through something emotional, we're like, let's not be the big bad wolf to emotions. Let's get to that place where we say, listen, if you are physically healed, if you are physically hurt, I'm going to help you to get healed. If you are emotionally hurt, I'm going to help you to get healed. I'm not going to see your emotional hurt as something lightly. I'm going to give you some things. The first one is, or the first thing that I want to address is, what should you do when somebody else is emotionally hurt, so that you don't become the big bad wolf to the emotions? What will help you to take more of a healing approach to somebody's emotions? So the first one is empathy. Empathy is not just, I feel sad when you are sad. Empathy is putting myself in your shoes. So when somebody else reacts emotional, don't just think, you should react this way. Empathy is like, I'm going to put myself in your shoes, and I'm going to ask myself the question, if I felt the way you are feeling right now, how would I have wanted another person to treat me? You put yourself in that person's skin and you say, how would I wanted somebody to treat me with empathy when I went through something emotional? That's the first thing you can do. And then the second one, ask them questions and try to understand how they feel, because two people can go through the exact same thing and they can experience different emotions. So don't assume because I would have responded in this way emotionally when I went through the same thing, now you should respond like that. No, ask the person a question, or ask the person questions and try to understand why they feel that way. And then another thing you can do, ask them how you can help them and support them. This is also a very important thing, because many people assume how the other person wants to be helped and supported. And that's why, many people will say things like, I don't feel supported. I don't feel like my friends or my family or my spouse is supporting me. I sit with situations like this a lot. And then I say, but why don't you feel like that? And then I will say to the friend or the spouse or the family member, are you supporting them? Yeah, I'm doing this and this and this and this. And then the other person will say, but I need you to do this. So don't ask the person or don't assume how the person wants to be helped. Ask the person how they can be helped or how they want to be helped. And then let them know and feel that you are helping and supporting. Let them know you care. Let them feel you care. Let them, and I think this as well. If you ask them how you can support them and you actually do what they are telling you, that will show them, listen, this person is really helping me, and this person is really supporting me. Then you're coming to that place where you take a more healing approach. And listen, you don't have to be an expert to do this. You don't have to be a counselor or a psychologist to do this. You just have to have emotional intelligence. And in my series, I speak a lot about emotional intelligence. You just have to understand, this is where I am and this is where this person is, and don't try to force yourself on that person. But like I said earlier, with empathy, really understand that person's emotion. Now, by doing this, you will beat the bad wolf to emotions, if you just apply these principles to another person. Now, I also want to say this: what should you do when you are emotional, or what should you do when you have an emotional response? You can know that you are allowed to be emotional. it's okay to be emotional. If I go through something emotional, it's okay to feel, because your emotions are always valid. And I want to say this, your emotions aren't always right. And I used this example yesterday in a teaching, and I said, my emotion might be, I feel rejected, but it's not necessarily true that the person rejected me. The person didn't really reject me, but I do feel rejected. So it's valid to say that I feel rejected, but the emotion is not always true. But it's okay to feel it. But you should always question, is this true? So, and the next one is, you should know that you have the right to heal. I have the right to heal. When I hurt my leg, the people around me, my friend let me know, the doctors let me know, listen, you have the right to heal. You have the right to put on the cast. You have the right to have the crutches. You have the right to take the medicine. You have the right to go through a process, and you have a right to receive your healing. And then you should heal. Don't stay in that state. And this is where the confusion can come in when a person listens to a message like this, because you can be in the same emotional state for years now, and you say, yeah, you know, I'm allowed to feel like this. You are allowed to go through your emotions, definitely, but you shouldn't stay there forever. You should take action and say, listen, I should heal. I'm not going to stay here forever. And you should also determine what healing looks like. For every situation, for every person, healing doesn't look exactly the same. I believe, if you go through something very traumatic, that thing might not ever leave you. It might always hurt. If you lose a loved one, if you get divorced, if you get rejected, if you get physically ill, if you lose a limb, something like that, those are real stuff, and you're never gonna maybe recover fully from that, but you can recover to a place where you can say, listen, I can carry on with life enthusiastically, and I can use this pain or hurt to help others, and in some areas I can even use it to my benefit. And then look at the trigger and ask whether it's rational. If there's a trigger, because a trigger is like an intense emotional reaction, look at it and say, like, is it rational? Am I really responding in the right way? Is my emotional response fitting or realistic to what just happened? And if your emotional response is not realistic to what happened, you should ask yourself, but where does this come from? Maybe there's some past healing that needs to take place. Reach rational emotional intelligence. And I speak about emotional intelligence a lot. Think rationally about a situation. Ask yourself, what is the rational way to handle this setback or emotional response in an emotional intelligent way? What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is understanding your own emotions, knowing how to deal with them. That's self-awareness. Understanding other people's emotions and knowing how to deal with that is others' awareness. But if we keep on taking emotions and feelings lightly, as if it's just something that we need to get over, that's the bad emotional wolf, or the bad wolf to emotions, and we have to beat that. And I believe I gave you some keys to beat that, and I want to encourage you, if some people in your life are going through something emotional, help them to get healing, help them to get out strong, and the same goes for yourself. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helped you. From Mind Prosperity, we love you, and we'll see you soon again. Goodbye.